The John Wick franchise pretty much revitalized Keanu Reeves' career, and now we all love Keanu Reeves even more. I mean, we loved him during the Matrix time. But today I'm going to be giving you guys my tier ranking for the entirety of the John Wick franchise. There's only 4 films. We're going to talk about all of them. We're going to rank them, put them in the tier list, and you guys can get mad at me like you usually do. I saw that you guys liked my Scream video, my Scream tier list. If you haven't already, go check that out over here. But let's get into this. Here is my tier list for all 4 of the John Wick films. And we're going to talk about the one that started it all, the Keanu-sans, if you will, the first John Wick. Now, I know when this came out, this was like a couple of years after the movie Taken with Liam Neeson, and there was a whole bunch of Taken clones coming out after that film. This one came out and a lot of people were saying the same thing. You know, it's another Taken film, but he has Keanu Reeves and he's mad because somebody killed his dog. I don't think people knew at the time what we were going to get with this film and that it was going to spawn a crazy franchise. And it's a very simple premise, but you got Keanu Reeves in here, you know, doing his own stunts for the most part, limping around with a gun. We got the term gun kata. I think that's what they call it. This film would also make the conversation of stunt work and stunt choreography and all that stuff, wanting and needing to be, you know, recognized in the Oscars. You know, as these movies go on, they would be talking about, hey, you know, John Wick stunt choreography is some of the best in the game. It should be recognized for the Oscars. And we'll get to John Wick 4, but yeah, it definitely needs to be up there in the Oscar discussion because holy crap. But there isn't that much to say more about this film. It's John Wick, it's the first film. We're gonna put John Wick number 1 in the A tier. Now, when they announced John Wick 2, everybody at this point knew, you know, they were on board with the Keanu-sans. I'm gonna still say it, you know, I don't care if you get annoyed. And they were really excited to see more because where the first one left off, it just looked like, you know, we're going to get more escalation, more world building, and people were excited. And we get just that. We get more action. Again, you know, the staple in the John Wick franchise is him going to a club or a club setting and playing that great La Castlevania music, and it's awesome. But the main thing in this film is we get more in depth of like what the actual world and how things work, how the Continental work. We talk more about the high table and the people and their positions and their power and all that stuff. It's just a little bit more of world building. The action scenes are better, they're faster, they're crazier. Keanu Reeves is still limping away, you know. It's just everything that you would want from a sequel. I just think John Wick Chapter 2 elevates the franchise even more. Like I said, we get bigger action scenes, longer action scenes. They increase the watch time, so we get more John Wick. What's not to love with that? So with that, John Wick Chapter 2 heads itself to the S tier. John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. Now this is the only one in the franchise that gets a little, you know, subtitle at the side of it. Don't know why they did that. I don't know why they didn't continue it. Maybe they will down the line with more John Wick films, but they decided to do that with this one. And while this one isn't as crazy as the second one, it's still really good. I mean, it's more John Wick. And like I said, for the second film, this one again expands the story and the lore of this world, this assassin world, even more. We get to see more of John Wick's connections. We add some characters. Halle Berry's in this film and she's doing crazy things with stunt coordination with dogs. I mean, Halle Berry, man, she continues to surprise me. Where I think that she's like, you know, peaked, she's like, nah. I'm gonna show you this choreography scene that I did with freaking dogs. It's crazy. They also have one of my favorite villains in the series, Zero. I mean, he's like a fanboy of John Wick. He's so excited to get a chance to fight and possibly kill John Wick. The interactions that him and John Wick have, it's priceless. It's gold. And the ending of the film, I don't think anybody saw coming. It really surprised me when I saw it in the theaters for the first time. And that ending sequence with Lawrence Fishburne telling, you know, Keanu Reeves is like, hey, are you mad, John? Are you upset? And then Keanu Reeves turns and is like, yeah. It's so perfect. I couldn't wait for the next film when they were coming out. I was like, okay, this stuff's about to go down. And as we get to John Wick 4, It really does go down. But we're going to put John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum in the A tier. All right, we're down to the wire. We're on the last film in the franchise so far, and this is the latest one, John Wick Chapter 4. I just saw it a couple of days ago, and I'm still recovering from the anxiety that I had after watching this film. It's good anxiety though. But what can I say? This is the longest film in the franchise. They up the ante every time. They make the screen time longer and longer, from the first one to the second one to the third one, and now to the fourth one. Almost 3 hours long of a film, and it's worth every minute. It's a spectacle what they did in this film. If you thought that Keanu Reeves before was like incredible, you know, you're really impressed with his stunt work that he's doing in this film. There's fight sequences that go on. I have to think like 30 minutes, and Keanu Reeves is doing it, all of it, if not most of the stunt work. And dude's almost 60 years old. Just let that sink in there. And there's so many scenes that I can pick out and say that they were so good. I mean, there is the scene in the museum, there's a scene in Japan, there's a scene in like an abandoned building in Paris. But I think the scene that most people are talking about, I think there's 2 scenes, but the 2 scenes that most people are talking about is the stair scene, which is insane, and the like over the top kind of like Hotline Miami, like over top video game like Diablo kind of scene. Those 2 scenes to me are probably like the craziest things I've ever seen. For me, I would probably go towards the stair scene, because just Keanu Reeves deserves an Oscar for that shit. Because to me, I know a lot of people, when they think of Oscar nominations for Best Actor and Actress, they think of like the performance, you know, more of like the line delivery that they did, you know. And sometimes they talk about like, you know, the physical transformation that they did during the film. But for John Wick, you know, he's not really like the typical character that you would think they'd get nominated for a Oscar, because, you know, he barely talks, he doesn't really have that many lines, but it's all physical with him. And Keanu Reeves doing this stair scene that I can only imagine took, I don't know how many takes it took, but it doesn't matter how many takes it took. I know it didn't take 1 take, but the fact that Keanu Reeves did all this, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's just good. It's just good. There's also so many characters that they introduce into this film that you can totally see them doing spin-off series for the John Wick franchise, and we just get more John Wick. Because Keanu Reeves said he's done. You know, he's pretty much tired of doing all this franchise. He needs a break for a while. He will show up here and there if they do like, you know, some side movies and stuff. But for now, he's taking a break from the John Wick franchise. And I think it's well deserved, because like I said, the stair scene. Just to go see that, and you'll just be like, okay, you can rest forever, Keanu Reeves. So the final film in the John Wick franchise so far, John Wick Chapter 4, deservedly gets a place in the S tier. And that is it, guys. That is my tier list for all 4 John Wick films. You can look at it, you can get mad at it, but also let me know what you think in the comments down below. What is your ranking? What is your list of the John Wick films in the comments down below? Let me know. Tell me if you hate my list. But also let me know what you think of the 5th John Wick film, if they're even going to call it the John Wick film. Are they going to do any spin-offs, you know, side stuff like that? I'm going to be doing a video talking about my thoughts and theories of John Wick 5. That's going to be coming up pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. It's going to look like this. Here's the thumbnail, so click on this when it's available. If not, be on the lookout for that when it comes out. And a good way for you to do that is to be subscribed and hit that bell and do all that stuff that the YouTubers tell you to do, because you're going to be notified and you're going to know, hey, that's the video he's been talking about. But guys, as always, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, guys, keep watching movies.